One, two, three. The crew was called Pro and
Merry Christmas.
What up, y'all? Merry Christmas, y'all. Merry Christmas, Jay Cruz.
Merry Christmas, my man, Professor Lyrical.
You're a trooper, man.
Yeah,
you're a trooper. Coming out on Christmas like this.
You too.
Well,
and the two guests that we got. Gotta say the same thing.
We do. And a very, very fitting guest as well, because I mean, you can probably see one of the names right there. Yahweh is in the building on December 25th. That's crazy. Crazy. I mean, clearly we mean Yahweh the MC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, clearly.
And we got the MC/preacher.
Yeah, we got my man Jonah.
That's the teacher up in the building.
Yeah, he's gonna be up there in a bit too. And known Jonah for a long time, and you hit me to Yahweh, man, and we'll talk more about their skills soon. But before we get them up here, man, Jay Cruz, yo, Christmas
with the little kids opening their presents. It was beautiful, man. A little
smaller than usual though this year.
Definitely. Definitely. I saw some keynote people that were very important.
Keynote people, okay.
I like that. It was very special, and but again, it's the memories of my daughter actually opening her presents this year by herself. Because last year she didn't, she
couldn't do that.
Help. Yeah, so now she was loving the wrapping paper.
All right.
Hugging the wrapping paper, and we're like, no, like you gotta open it. There's something in there, and then once she figured that out, it was over.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you. I mean, I don't want to equate, babies to puppies, but I'm gonna equate babies to puppies. My brother-in-law, he had his dog. First year he's had a dog, right? And they went out, and they don't have any kids, so they're in Boston, and like they were calling through on the Zoom or whatever, and the dog's playing Kiki, right? The dog's playing, and like they got the dog, they like spoiled the dog. They don't have kids, and out of all the gifts, it's the tennis ball. You know what I'm saying? It was the tennis ball that was the one doing it. And it's like, you could have saved just the wrapping paper, man. You know what I mean? Just the wrapping paper would have got it done.
That's it.
Just a ball of rolling wrap. I got some here, man. I got all kinds of wrapping paper all around.
It was that frozen wrapping paper too. So she was like Elsa, Anna, Christamas.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was in love with it, man.
Wow.
But so yeah, for you too, I'm assuming you had an amazing Star Wars morning.
Yeah, my son actually he was he didn't get up though till like 8ish or whatever, because he was up. They were making cookies, they were doing all kinds of stuff, and he was just so excited, you know what I mean? And so he was going around the house, like checking everything out, you know what I mean, for like the last 2 days. He's like, oh, I was like, hey, come, like on the television over where the TV is, we got like the nativity set up, right? And I'm like, oh, and this is and he's like, oh, he's like, that's what that is, I was like, yeah, that's what that is. And then in the Christmas tree, he's going through each of the ornaments, and he's trying to check out where the elf on the shelf is, and he's trying to make sure, just all these things that, elf on the shelf wasn't a thing for me, you know what I mean? I think I missed that. And, it was kind of a little bit more simple, ugly tree, and just, we got it done,
Hey, Santa Claus did his thing this year, bro. He definitely did. The kids were all happy this year.
Yeah.
Under the most extreme circumstances.
I was on the NORAD tracker, which is very interesting, right? The military sponsors the NORAD tracker, right? Yeah. The like missiles and bombs, but they track Santa, right? And so I was on that last night checking out. Santa was in Brazil, it looked like, at like 8:58 p.m. And my son was like, what time's he getting out here? I was like, I think it's like 5 hours, maybe, like from at that clip. I was trying to do the math. We're trying to keep it all very, very mathematical,
educational.
as much as you can do mathematical, and it was doing the amount of gifts dropped, and it was like 5 billion, and it was like 5 billion, and it was tracking up by like the millions, like by the second.
Wow.
It's like, wow, that's a lot of gifts.
Santa works.
A lot
Santa
of gifts.
Works.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm a Santa helper, basically.
The history of Santa Claus is some crazy stuff, right? Like in terms of even looking the way that he does, the whole red and white thing, like the whole history is just crazy. There was none of that, like before Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? It was a totally different look.
Yeah.
It was different parts of the world. Father Christmas, even when you read about Saint Nick and read the actual Saint Nick, and even the names are interesting, like Kris Kringle, right?
Yeah,
you read about that name. And that literally translates to I'm probably screwing this up, but this is from like years ago reading this stuff. I always get all into it. It was like Christ baby, Christ Kringle. Kringle almost sounds like Kindle, right? Like Kindle, right? Or cradle, right? That's like baby words that translate to baby. It was Christ baby, literally Kris Kringle.
Wow.
And then you think about Saint Nick, and then you think Christ Kringle, and then you're like, okay, Saint Nicholas, Claus.
Yeah.
So Santa Claus is the translation of Saint Nicholas.
They went
right?
deep on that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so if you think about it, I mean, here, at least what we call Santa Claus, Santa Claus is the translation of Saint Nicholas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of wild, and I'm probably crushing that, but I just, was always
Close
reading that stuff. Yeah, it was, you know what I mean, just but to go from Saint Nicholas and his humble little, like getting the gifts to the kids, like berries and toys and whatever else they put back in the day, to PlayStations and Twitches and stuff. None of that made my house, but I don't know about you, but different ages. But my son did come away with he did okay. He came away with like high speed clicking mouse, right? Like to play like Minecraft faster, and man.
Oh wow,
yeah, man.
Everything's faster these days.
Everything ergonomic keyboards and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. So nothing commercial here, man. No potential unofficial official sponsors here, man.
But later today, or tonight, we're gonna be getting the official unofficial sponsor of the year award, which will be going to a product that I know that you love so much.
What product? Oh, okay.
And we all love so much.
I think I do know.
Yeah,
Yo, let me tell you a product that I really do like. Let me see if I can find this for you. Speaking of products, let me go over to here because I think it's fitting, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we got a song called Saint Song, man.
We do.
We do got a song called Saint Song. And we also got a song, well, let's go over to here. Let's go over to the collection. Let's go over to the collection. You got to know secret behind the scenes collection. These are all works in progress of the ProQuo album. And I think Bye Bye Hater. Oh, we got a Freedom. Is that a Freedom Corner track? Like as in Freedom Corner?
That might be very fitting.
Man.
Considering my man Yahweh, part of the Freedom label movement.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. So let me you want to play the Freedom Corner?
It only makes sense.
I mean, Saint Song makes a lot of sense though too.
Saint Song does make sense. We might maybe give him a snippet of both.
Let's give him the Saint. Let's start out with the Saints because that's where I was going with the whole Saint thing. Let's
do that. And then because Yahweh got a verse on Freedom Corner that
it's not there yet.
In there yet, but that'll be fitting. We'll wait till he gets on before we play that.
Let's give him a piece of this.
All right, let's do that.
You hearing that?
I'm hearing it, baby.
All right, mute that up.
Mother Nature.
Sorry,
bro. To our Creator. What? Saint Song.
You don't make up for your sins in the church.
Yeah.
You do it in the streets. You do it at home. If the rest is bullshit, you know it.
Uh-oh.
Woo! Damn. Yeah. Here's a song for the saints.
Yeah.
Woo! Damn. Here's the bomb, catch the weight.
Yeah.
Before we ever thought about popping, we had to learn something about Compton. New York vibes, riding apple, no joshing. I see an equal and we betting on the auction. The finer things in front of things is in my doctrine. Rain night or day, I put it up cause I'm a marksman. The city rhyming that scheme. Boondocks making coffins. Blind to your dreams cause you X without the crossings. You getting murdered on these scenes cause we praying with these orphans. Parentless children, I'm an idol, what we talking? Cruise like a throwback that the youth are supporting. Fuse blown, sue that. What it's costing, 8 ways, get gays. Probably call up on the coffins. Lounging in the Ville, contemplating with the prophets. Bouncing with some drills, balance it over the markets. Counting up the bills, making deals is how you rock it. Juice world gone, fuck the pills, we a target. Woo! Damn. Here's a song for the saints. Woo! Damn. Here's the bomb, catch the weight.
Wave at a spit jogging, sit like I've been starving. Mass of the crab, this is that wig on some thin jarvis. I've been starving on tracks, you've been watching. Hard to find, been on my grind on some Bin Laden. Underground legend got stats, I'm Jim Harden. Your chin's glass, get in the gym or you'll get guarded. No slim fast, I rip tracks, kid, regardless. No quick fast, I'm long range, I'm a target. Market in the margin of victory so large that you can sense the coming of the God like a magi. Baptize y'all, flow swift like a magpie. Redline the track to the NS at Alewife. Pro have you fix at in real life and artists. These click track rappers get click clacked in the carpet. Red letters littered Johansson. I'm over Boston and scarlet like the Bible whenever the God's talking.
Woo! Damn.
Okay.
That's that heat right
I
there.
hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at you neither. Shout out to Audio Mercy.
These are all
H Keys on the beats.
Very behind the scenes. Very behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to sound anything. Jay has had a whole different approach on the whole lyricism thing. He's been coming to a whole different kind of mind frame in terms of how he wants to do his thing. And, we've switched around some hooks from that. The album's going to look even different. So someday you'll be looking at these behind the scenes, hopefully. And you'll be
this
like,
is us just on the slate. You know what I mean? We got the slate. We're scratching the slate. And then the slate goes into digital. And then we move it and we start, so y'all getting the exclusives because y'all tuning in with us on a Christmas day.
That's crazy.
Night.
That really is crazy. Crazy, man.
And
Yahweh. You know what else is crazy? You know what else is crazy? We got less than a week, man. Less than a week of this whole year. It's 2020's out.
And it's over.
It's out. And I think a lot of people are like good riddance, right? I think the majority of people are like good riddance. But there's been some crazy good things that have happened in the result of tragedy, as always, if you look for it. You know what I mean?
That's factual.
I hope when we get some of our guests up here, maybe they'll speak to that too, because I think a lot of people they look for the word in these times, right? Whatever faith or denomination people belong to. I know that faith-based people are always trying to make sense out of a crazy world. So it's great to have the people that we do, whether that comes across in their music or in their word when they're actually doing their work. That's not on the mic or both, right? People are like, yo, there's got to be a meaning to what we're going through, right? Like there's got to be purpose for this. There's got to be a deeper plan that we're just not in tune with. So people are always quick to say, yo, I hope the year is superficial, right? Where the day ends, where we just mark it in the sand. And I've never been, I'll go on the record, I've never been, I don't get the New Year's thing. I don't get excited about it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just like another day, literally. But people do what they do. I get traditions. I'm not trying to be disrespectful of people's traditions, whatever they are. But it's like, I'm not really a big partier either. You know what I mean? Like,
I think if anything, it's about goal setting.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that would be the biggest takeaway I think from it. But
I've never been one to say like, by January 1st though, but I get that's the way the world works. At least this hemisphere.
There's a lot of procrastinators.
Yeah, man, I see what you did there.
And that right there,
I'm one too, dog. I could be a procrastinator. Yeah, man. Like I mean, I was mailing some stuff out on the 24th. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're gonna
but it's part of the plan.
The new year to be like, hey, you know what? This year I'm gonna make sure
I don't. Yo, people that have like issues with the whole procrastination thing, like, I don't procrastinate on something I can knock out early. Like,
right.
And I don't procrastinate on things I shouldn't be like even be worrying about, like things you can't control. I guess what I'm saying. Like I'll try to. I'm not saying that the best way, but I'm trying to handle the things I can handle when I can handle them as soon as I can handle them. But a lot of times my plan is what other people call procrastination. Like I knew I was going to the post office yesterday for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually knew, like 2 days, it became clear to me the only time I'm going to be able to work this out is it's going to have to be on the 24th. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to arrange my day by it. But if you got one little curveball that comes in your way, it can really mess with you, So I don't advocate it. But at the same time, sometimes I just look at my schedule. And instead of just doing nothing, this is what a lot of people do. They won't pack their schedule enough, and they wonder why things don't happen for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll be like, yo, what? And I'll be like, yo, you got an hour and 15 minutes. What are you doing with that? You're going to want that hour and 15 minutes back on the day. You know what I'm saying? On the day of judgment, you're going to want that hour and 15 minutes,
the currency of time, man.
But the day
spend it.
when the watch is, you'll be like an hour and 15 minutes, yo. So I'm just saying, I just try to pack it as much as I can. Not always. We need our rest and relaxation, but I'm saying the whole January 1st thing or whatever, I'm just like, yo, like that's a little superficial for me, but I get it. you know. So I'll roll with it. I'm just saying you gotta be like that on every day. You know what I mean? Be like,
absolutely, ain't no different than January 1st, 2nd, or December 31st.
Or January 10th might be Pro's birthday on January 10th. Just putting that out there, J. Cruz. Unless you're sending me some.
We
And
might have to
again,
throw the Cash App up on that right there.
yeah, right. And again, the birthday thing too has always been kind of like, like okay, I get
I'm
it.
the same way with that.
It's like whatever, you know. But
do a little bit
this
better
birthday
this year than you did
this
last
birthday,
year.
December 25th, or at least marking a birthday, is pretty big day for a lot of people around the world. We gotta say, right? It's a big day, right?
And I think, you know what, we need to. We got my man Yahweh.
We gotta get him up in the building. Speaking,
and
I
think what we should do is introduce the people to his release that he just put out called Work.
All right.
Bring him in the building, and we're gonna mute our mics. But before he even says one word, wait till you hear who you know putting in work. Come on, man.
All right, let's bring him in, and we apologize in advance if the audio is not crispy coming in. We'll give him a second to get set. But I was just gonna talk about that too, Jay. You know, I always want to put it out there in Front Street, but there's this iPhone thing going on. You know what I'm saying? That we're kind of coming up on here. We're having these iPhone issues sometimes when we're streaming.
Yeah, look,
it's only seems to be iPhone stock.
StreamYard. Just make sure y'all start messing with Mac.
Yeah.
Just start figuring something out, man.
Figure it out, man. Figure it out.
Yeah,
let's bring him in, man. No further ado, unless we need further ado because he can't hear us. Bam! There he is.
Yo, what it do?
He's in the building.
What's up, my man? How are you?
Man,
Merry Christmas.
I'm in the building, man. Look, Merry Christmas to you all too. Look, I'm blessed to be here, and anytime we can talk about Yahweh on Christmas, it's a blessing, man.
Ain't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Cheers to that.
And that just kind of worked out, right? That wasn't like some pre-plan. I was talking to Jay, and we was talking about having you up, and you know, he played me your music a while back. He sent me the links, and then we were looking at the calendar. We're like, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, yo, we doing a show on the 25th? And Jay was like, yeah, man, of course we're doing a show on the 25th. And you know, we were like, all right, cool, let's do it. And then I wasn't even thinking about your name.
Yahweh was the first person that came by.
Yeah, I was thinking about the tracks, and then I was like, yo, Yahweh on the 25th, dog. This is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And
literally, he was the first person I messaged, and as soon as he was like, yo, I'm down, I'm like, that's what's up. Stars and the moon, they all aligned.
They all aligned, dude. They all
That's
aligned.
it.
Yo. And you spell Yahweh YAHWEH.
Correct.
That's
that. I would say that's the American version.
That's the American, but not the 4-letter version, right?
Right, exactly.
Right.
The Hebrew version. Basically what we call the consonants and things that we use that they don't use. But
Okay.
Well, so, Yahweh, when I was 14,
Yahweh of the highway, baby.
I changed my name. I used to go by Petrosian, and then I changed my name to Elohim. So I went by Elohim, which is Elohim, right? I went by that for like 10 years, and then I'm like, all right, we're gonna switch it up. But that will always remain with me.
And I'm going back. I'm not letting you off the hook on that one too. I'm going back to that because we're gonna get back to the J. Cruz ascension to J. Cruz. Because like, let's just get right into it. Like, yeah, well, you a Christian rapper, and the thing is like, I talked to Jay about this. We're like, Jay, like, you know what's up, like biblically, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and you're a Christian and you're a rapper.
Yeah.
Are you a Christian rapper, Jake? And we were saying the same thing yesterday, right? I was like, I'm a Christian. I'm not a good Christian, right? Like, I'm a Christian in need of a lot of help, right? Because I'm a skeptical Christian, right? The more I get older, I become very skeptical. My man Jonah coming in knows.
But you made an interesting point when you said that, though, is because that's why we Christian, because we all need help.
Yeah, man. And I'm
that's
like
really
with
the
it.
truth. Yeah, no doubt. Like, we all need help with it. Like, matter of fact, when we get to the point where we don't need Christ, you know, like, you let me know what you did.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. I like that. It's like, see, that's the foundation of everything, reality. Because that's just, to me, it's the good and the bad. And Christ represents good, and you know who represents the other side. And we try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah.
So can J. Cruz be a Christian rapper and not call himself a Christian rapper? Because you heard him, he was cursing in that track. He was doing some things that aren't like quote unquote. Can Christian rappers curse? Like, what do you feel about that?
So as far as like the actual genre, and Jay and I was talking about this briefly. I think it was a couple of days ago. We kind of going back and forth about the show. And in the message, it was basically that I had a lot of homies. Matter of fact, when we did our test call, in the genre as a whole, you won't hear profanity.
Right.
Rarely you hear like those frustrated.
And they don't be drinking that, Jay. I don't think they're drinking whatever you drink. That wasn't ginger ale. Sorry,
but there's.
Hey, Jesus used to drink a lot of wine, bro.
See, now I don't know that.
I don't know about that, man.
And so, and I'm with look. But the truth of the matter is, man, like we all a work in progress, and we just got to be transparent about it. And to be honest with you, man, it's like those moments that we allow us to be able to really help each other. You know what I'm saying? With whatever it is, like whatever my flaws is, you just might not see them. You don't mean I don't have them. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like
cocktail party kind of stuff,
and
right?
That's kind of what makes people skeptical about Christianity, is because there's this facade that we're perfect, and that couldn't be furthest from the truth. Like, to the point, the reason why we need Christ is because we're not perfect.
So how do you balance, like, as an artist? Well, I mean, we're jumping right in here, and I apologize to the listeners.
No doubt.
We didn't give you sort of your proper, and we really should do that. I'm just getting excited about the conversation. But Yahweh, before we go too far down the trail, like, tell us about Yahweh before Yahweh. Like, how did you get to this point, and how did you get to this point of, let's call it evolution, pun intended?
Right. Like so the great transition, is what I often refer to it as. But man, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and so whatever you heard about the west side of Chicago, I was there. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed and experienced, and I lived that. And so, the gun violence, the drugs, the early sexual promiscuity, like all that, like at a very early age, preteen. I'm talking about. I was smoking weed, stealing my mom's cigarettes, running to the kitchen, lighting them, hiding in the backyard, smoking them. Like before I was even a teenager, I'm talking about everything, full fledged. And so there were factors in my life, and the reason why I trust God the way I do is because in hindsight, which is always 20/20, right? In hindsight, I realized He was putting people in my life and like sowing seeds into my life, like my grandmother, who was like a devout Christian. And, the little storefront church that my mom took me to, none of which I paid attention to at the time. But those things eventually, like any other seed that you plant, it takes time for the girl got to be nourished and nurtured so it can mature. And so those things, as I began to know Christ for myself, those things began to, blossom in my life. And so when I finally got to the point where I was faced with the situation where I really needed to get to know God for myself, the first thing that had to happen was that I had to leave Chicago. And when I tell you I was so upset with my people, man, for like basically forcing me to leave. And my mom put me in a situation where she was like, look, she cared about me so much, she didn't want to see me in jail or in the grave. And so, I came south to stay with my old man, with my dad. He was living here in Mississippi. And so I packed up my stuff grudgingly, mad. I think I flipped my uncle off, put me on the Greyhound. I flipped the bird at him. I was so mad at him, but he was just trying to help. But just how ignorant I was at the time, and then realized that I was getting ready to transition into one of the greatest phases of my life, which when I made it to Mississippi, I started going to church and really understanding who God was and got to know Him for myself. And that led me to the point to where all that time I was making music the whole time. My mom got shoe boxes full of like spoken word poems I've been writing since I was little. And at that point, it was just, a hobby, something I played with. I always excelled at AP English because we would do essays and had to write poems, and that was always my favorite time in school. So I've been writing since I was a shorty, like old enough to write. And I started rapping with my homie probably about 15 years ago. And it was secular rap then too. And so, I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Mainly about the stuff that I'd done, the experience, stuff that I had seen. And I was cussing and, I was talking about, getting high and, sliding on shorties and hitting all that type of stuff. And then I got to that point, like we were just saying, where I got to know God for myself, man.
And what was that time frame in terms of
the time frame
when
was
that
around
happened?
2008.
Okay. All right, cool. Because when I listen to you, like you have heavy skill. Like obviously, as somebody who's skilled as a verbalist, like you wouldn't necessarily like when I listen to the track. Certainly, I wasn't like, oh yeah, definitely that dude's a Christian rapper, right? And I get people say the same thing to me. I generally don't curse in my music, and like someone will say, "Oh, are you a Christian rapper?" And I'll be like, "Well, define that." You know what I'm saying? Like we'll get in that conversation.
Right.
But hearing your thing, you weren't wearing it on your shoulder necessarily. Is that by design, or is that just kind of how it happens?
So, I would say it's probably by design. For me, I think my life should speak for itself as far as what I believe in my faith. But I'm an artist, right? And so, of course, in my life, God comes first. But for me, like when I go to the kitchen, like for the longest, I was a chef by trade, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I walk into the kitchen, my mindset is to prepare the food, get it done. I just do it in the spirit of excellence. And when I get the opportunity to talk about God, I don't miss him.
Okay.
Right. But I don't go in with the expectation, like, listen, when I taste your greens from one of my cooks, I'm like, look, ain't no Jesus in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. So art is my profession. That's what I do. It's my craft, it's my skills. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do it to my best. And I put my faith in my rap. When you hear one of the tracks on
we're gonna hear right now.
You heard energy. Yeah. And I open up energy saying, I can hear him whisper. Is he a Christian rapper or a rapper that's a Christian?
Mm-hmm. And that was track 4, right?
Yeah, we're gonna jump into one.
And that's what I was saying. What when I heard that, because you gotta imagine people. I'm listening to this whole project. I got 1, 2, and I'm vibing. I'm like, say what? This is crazy. And then I heard Christian rapper on track 4 or 5. What's energy?
Energy 4.
Energy
4. See, that's how I know. I said he done dropped. Hold on a sec. You wouldn't know. You would not know.
I think we're gonna have to play that then. Can we play that? Is that the joint to play? Which track you want to play?
Man. I have look at my special request. I got 2. We gotta play Work, and we gotta play Man of the Moon. And you could definitely Energy, man. Whatever you want, man. We play Energy right now. That's cool.
All right, let's do that.
Of course, I'm on the shutter for a few seconds, but
okay. Yeah, just make sure.
Energy is a track. That's the album, which will be released January 15th.
And what's the label?
Freedom Corner brand. Shout out to my homies Jay and L.
All right, I'm gonna play it. So I'm gonna play Energy then.
Energy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play Energy. We're gonna run that for a bit and let us know what you think. Yo, hit us up in the comments. You listening? It's Christmas. Yo, you hanging with us. We appreciate you. We got Yahweh in the building on Christmas, man. It's just crazy. So
hey, yo, Pro, while that's doing, edit that banner too. We still got Perkins.
Oh, my bad. All right.
That's all good. I saw it on the DM. I'm like, oh, snap.
My bad.
Hey, you got to look at one thing real quick. We got to give a round of applause to my man Pro because Don Juan, the Mac, is not with us right now. And Pro is running the boards across the board.
Like a pro.
Doing what I can, man. Doing what I can.
And he's doing a stellar job, my man.
All right. Let's tell me that if you hear audio in a second, because if you're hearing the audio, and you know what? I was just about to not share audio, right? So let's do it. All right. So I think we got it. This is Energy by my man Yahweh.
Mute your mics, y'all.
F.L.Y. Forever lives Yahweh. Listen. Shh. I can hear him whisper and see a Christian rapper or a rapper that's a Christian. Rapping in my past and my future, you should listen. Now I'm rapping in the present, it's a rap. Call it Christmas, it's officially official. I'm alive cause of grace. The trying of your faith when they denying your faith. Man, these rappers make me tired, always lying on their tapes. They gorillas with banana clips, lying on the apes. Don't get flied in the cake, but they try to put me in the box. Watch me break out like a chicken pot. Watch me go hard like a cinder block. I remember cuz in the kitchen when he had them chickens in the pot. Street farm, razor blade, dinner plate, freeform, acorn, in and out the slammer, ain't no reform. Asking me to pray for him, didn't know what to say to him. Reach for him, hoping that the Lord make a way for him. You should be focusing attention on your enemy. Instead of wasting energy to enemy. Honestly, I don't have the time for negativity. No. How you find the energy to envy me? Bragging about how you getting lit up like a Christmas tree. How you find the energy to envy me? I'm too busy living for the one that invented me. can't resurrect the menace. All these gold medals, you would think it's the Olympics. Old crew, bulletproof. They was major with them pistols. New crew, different view. Did away with the pistols, camera view, photo shoot. Getting paid for the pictures. I was made in this image, so I'm making with the pictures. Do you get the picture? How you sway by the whistle? Influenced by the money like them government officials. Smile in your face when they really out to get you, but I'm covered like a magazine, so it ain't an issue. No, you should be focusing attention on your enemy. Instead of wasting energy to envy me. Honestly, I don't have the time for negativity. No. How you find the energy to envy me? Bragging about how you getting lit up like a Christmas tree. How you find the energy to envy me? I'm too busy living for the one who invented me. Seriously, I don't have the energy. You can't be the villain in the cave for a living. I cannot explain all the pain they be feeling. Jumping out of planes, blowing brains on the ceiling. Airstrike in Iran, make it plain they revealing. Stopping me, kidding me, you gotta be. You can travel to the sun and still won't find no organism hot as me. This next line is corny, possibly, but don't put no cheese on my pizza, boy, cause ain't nobody topping me. I'm fishing off the chain like I ran away from slavery. Never been afraid, ATL ball with bravery. All my debts are paid, your opinion will not hinder me. I'm busy trying to make that money stretch like a limousine. You should be focusing attention on your enemy. Instead of wasting energy to envy me. Honestly, I don't have the time for negativity. No. How you find the energy to envy me?
Yo, right there, man.
Lit up like a Christmas tree.
How are you not even sure that wasn't the joint to play today?
Yo, go into the sun, the only organ. He can't find an organism hot as me. How the hell you got the energy to envy, man? Fire. Bars all day.
Dope.
I said that. You should have seen that. I had a piece of paper. I was writing the list, and I was like, damn, I want to try to keep this to one page.
This is what I want to talk about. So we do a lot of let me stop sharing that screen. We do a lot of transparency, right, on the show. That's kind of Jay's theme. I try to roll with it, and that works pretty well. When I first heard you, I forgot that you were Christian rapper. I didn't actually know that. So when Jay sends me a lot of music, right, a lot of links, a lot of instrumentals. I never know what I want to turn on, and so I turned it on and I listened to it. I was like, yo, this is dope. I was like, I don't know if he's like a Jedi master. Like, and what I meant by that was, and this is absolutely no hate on it, I was like, this dude is like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, easy. So I'm wondering why you send it to me, because Jay and I only talk about, yo, trying to reach like that 10 level. Like, yo, like what do you got to do to be a 10? And I'm like, but this dude is clearly dope. So Jay knows I said this to her. I was like, yeah, this dude's clearly dope. But here's the truth. Now that I know that it's you, the Christian rapper with that incredible story, it takes the 8. Unfortunately, this is just true. When I know you're a Christian rapper, it like bumps it up to like a 9.5. You know what I'm saying?
I take it 9.5.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's different. It's different, and it's like, yo, that dude could sound like a dude on and popping in any club, more skilled, way more skilled than the average rapper. You know, and like could easily be bumping in any track, anybody's car, anybody's whip. You would never know it's Christian rap. And I don't mean to say you never know it's Christian rap, like, because Christian rap is bad. Christian rap is not bad. Lecrae is incredible. Like, I mean, Lecrae is an incredible rapper.
You know what's funny?
You can hang with anybody.
I mean, listen, it's some people that you hadn't heard. Like Lecrae's like the Godfather, right? A Christian hip hop, right? And so he gets a lot of recognition for that. Like, he paved a lot of roads.
Yep.
And he took like the blunt of the criticism.
Yep.
Because like, for a while, what we would have, like maybe 20 years ago, what you would have considered Christian hip hop was Kurt Franklin, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was different. Ty Tribbett, right? Ty Tribbett, Kurt Franklin were like the closest thing to Christian hip hop you would have had. And what Lecrae did was pave the new road and completely took the blunt of the criticism for Christian hip hop artists sounding too much like real artists. And that was kind of like the struggle for so long. The reason why I took Christian hip hop artists is not because most of them stories just like mine, started in the streets,
right? Or,
you know, started making circular music. Like, very few people, I mean, it's more common now, but very few people came straight into music as a Christian hip hop artist. They started on one end and then kind of transitioned into that.
Yep.
And so there are some people that you have not heard.
Oh no, man, no, definitely.
Listen,
Yeah,
when you
I've
hear
heard it.
them,
I've heard NF. I know NF. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I heard Kanye West, right?
you know what
I
I'm
heard
saying?
KB. I heard Derek Minor. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I'm not a huge I'm not really checking for Christian rap artists
Right.
like that. Yeah, definitely. But what I will say is and speaking of this, I just mentioned a name there that I gotta hear your take on. What's your take on Kanye?
That's a great question.
So to me, anything that brings glory to God's name, man, is just how could you fight? How could you argue with that? The only thing that I always task people,
Does it bring glory though? Does Kanye definitely bring glory to God's name?
I think it raises an awareness.
Okay.
And I think it for him. I think he's had more people to hear or repeat or announce the name of Christianity or the gospel because of who he is. You know, because of the popularity and the notoriety that he's gained. Down through the years, that his ability to reach people. Like for example, I did a show maybe 2 weeks ago with one of the biggest local radio stations here, and you probably can count on one hand how many times that week you heard the name Jesus on that radio station, right?
Wow.
But because they were playing my song that particular day, insert. And like we was talking about, that seed that I got when I was younger, just Kanye having so many listeners and what he's planning. I'm not saying he may not necessarily be converting people, but even though it may not seem he's doing it, in a super preachy way, but he's planting seeds. But the Bible says, look, one plant, another water, and God gives the increase. And so what I think what he's doing, it does have the impact.
All right.
It does have impact. What I do it, I'm not necessarily as far as my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I usually try to reserve, but I think what he's doing will and is having an impact.
Yeah, he basically punched people in the face with it. You know what I mean? He was that one dude. So the way that you present your artistry, it's strategically done, and the foundation can be felt, but it's not preaching.
You can tell that you were an MC first. I mean, you can tell you've been MCing for a long time. You know what I mean?
When I started bumping this, right, I'm like, yo, this is an exotic car. This is a Lamborghini driving by right now. You know what I'm saying? And I've listened to a lot of artists, and sometimes you find a Pinto.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Pinto. But when that Lambo, everybody's turning their head.
Let me ask you this about that point too. Before I want to bring my man Jonah up here too, because I know he's probably dying to get in this conversation too. And he's another MC he's an MC. He's preaching the word for real, and he's new. He's got a new spot too, so we'll talk to him about that. But here's what I want to say. It's back to the point when I was saying about your music. Well, as soon as I heard you, I was like, yo, this dude is obviously the real deal, right? And I'm like, but it's interesting. Jay's always talking about top level lyricist or whatever. For me, it sounds like if you wanted to put another 10% into it, you could be on that elite level, right? If you wanted to just put a little bit more into it, is that by design, or is it because you have other things to do? You know what I'm saying? Because you got the talent to take it to that next notch.
All right, so this is my dynamic.
And by the way, you don't even need to. But I'm just saying, in terms of what we listen to, we're always talking about that world premiere lyricist. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm a realist on a lot of levels. I'm that type of person that really appreciate strong consideration and critique. Right? I actually value that. You know what I'm saying? I actually I'll make sure that there's always people in my life that's going to be 100% honest with me. And I have people like that I got homies that call me and just be like, nah, that ain't it, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's whack. Nah, that's whack. Because they know me. They know that my strive for perfection is real.
Yeah.
And they know, as far as my walk, my ability to be a parent or a father or a husband, as an MC, whatever I do, if I was the garbage man, bro, I would want to know how to be the best at it.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. And so when it comes to my music, what I've noticed down through the years, and I grew up on Jay, East Coast rap because I'm from Chicago. And one of my biggest musical influences as a whole is because I like singing. I can't sing, but I like singing. But I can write.
You sounded like you were holding it to it earlier, singing that little Christmas carol, bro. Don't doubt yourself.
I mean, I could do a little something, right? A little something. I can do a little something, right?
I can't sing.
I can do a little something, but I've written songs for choirs, praise teams.
Okay.
I've written songs, R&B artists. Like I can just write, flat out write. Like any kind of genre, I can write a hit song. But what I've noticed about the industry, again, this is my profession, right? So it's just like, even though I believe in health food, I know if I want to sell a lot of food, that I got to make the food that people like, right?
Yes,
so
yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Yeah.
So my dynamic is to give the audience something that they can appreciate and still be able to put my artistry in it as well. Like when you hear on No Hook, now that's just me just flat out like being like, all right, this me as an MC.
Yeah, MC,
like
exactly.
Flat out. When you
like
hear
work is a great example too of you know, when you go in that second thing, yeah, and you're doing the stop and go flow where you're like no ego, you know what I mean? When you're just doing that little simple yet elegant in depth of thought, because as basic as that little scheme is, there's a lot of thought put behind everything you're going, the pattern you're following. So, you know, for me,
you right on.
Yeah, man, and you know what I like too is the fact that from an East Coast perspective, I feel like lyricism, and that's why Pro is such an advocate for lyricism, because that East Coast harboring of what he is all about is huge versus like when you go down south, it's more melody, right? I find more melody. I mean, you know, Outkast, ATL and stuff, it's a different vibe or whatever. But for me, I had a blend. I lived in Virginia for a while. I had some Southern influence, and I love the sonics of the accent, the dialect.
Timberland, Missy.
Come
Absolutely.
on now.
Yeah.
You know?
But you can do both.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's by design. So one of the things that I've kind of like drummed up a little bit is I'm gonna drop mixtapes, man. And the mixtape's just gonna be raw. You know what I'm saying? The mixtape is gonna be raw.
That's kind of my follow up of that.
In depth with my artistry. You know what I mean? But as far as like making albums and singles, you know, I wanted to be blended, and like you said, that's intentional. I wanted to be blended. I wanted to be something that can catch, especially understanding, you know, the generation that we in too as well.
Yeah. And the point of that,
people can go platinum or can sell a lot of records. You can't even understand what they're saying.
Right.
Surely we can.
And not only understand you, but relate to that. I mean, that whole entire topic, I was like word for word, like, man, that's the story of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't getting the complaints, then you aren't doing something right. And it's like, why do you even have the time to go out of your way on a day-to-day basis and try to tell me, man, you ain't all that or whatever? Like you might have 2% of the people, but you hear those 2% louder than the 98 who telling you it's great, right? And you hear them 2%, and you're like, how are you gonna spend this time in your day? Like, how am I impacting your life? You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand that as artists, man, and as people in general, right? Everybody got, you know, that in their life. And
I struggle with that every day. I struggle with that dilemma every day. Like, since you brought that subject up about just, you know, that blend, you know, I wrestle every day with wanting to be an artist and just wanting to be like a regular dude, because like my wife and my kids are so important to me. And so that, like that 10% you was talking about, like I battle with it every day. Like
there's a price for that.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And so to be honest with you, I just had a conversation with my homie just a week ago. Like, man, I don't know if I want to not be at home all the time with my family. Right. Like I value them so much. And he was like, bro, if you're gonna make music, you're gonna have to make music. And so like I go back and forth with that all day. And I always used to wonder when I was younger why certain celebrities seemed like weird when they was in the tabloids or on, because I feel them. Like, yeah, I want to do it because I love doing it, but all the other stuff that comes with it.
Man, look, let me tell you something. We were talking about this earlier, right before we brought you on, where we were saying what 2020 did, you know, devastating. It was, you know, but what it did was it created this kind of thing where now we're surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, creating. Come on, the task force.
People want to understand that meaning.
Same level. Parents first. Authenticity second. Right close. Right.
Yep.
And obviously having you on Christ's Day, the God being the foundation, everything. Look, I might tip my glass, I might do all that, whatever, but that Reality is God is my foundation. And more importantly, what's coming next is that official, most unofficial sponsorship to help us bring in some of that cheese.
What?
Yeah,
What's gonna bring that cheese in, boys? Hey,
Oh, you're talking about Cheez-Its again?
Hey, say cheese.
The unofficial Cheez-It. Yeah,
Say
baby.
Sponsor
cheese.
of the year, yo.
Cheez-It, baby.
This is gonna allow us to be able to be parents, live with our family, design our own fate, and create a new industry. That's the power of
that's
people.
the mouthful right there, right?
Cheez-Its gonna do all that for us?
Trying to create your own lane, man. Through unofficial, official sponsors like Cheez-It, send that bread. You know, of course, I'm just a subsidiary, right? Hopefully, like some of that white cheddar cheese trickle down from y'all sponsorship.
Yo, white cheddar.
Bless your boy.
My wife hides those on me.
Boy, them joints go hard.
Now that we get the sponsorships out of the way, the unofficial, official sponsorship of Cheez-It. I mean, we in there with Cheez-It, and you know, like I like to say, I'm not just a product endorser. I am a user. As you can see,
consumer.
Yes,
I had to tape the box open so it wouldn't pop open. You know what I mean? Because this is open.
Yeah,
I try to make it look brand new. But
yo, I gotta add my man. I gotta add my man who's been waiting in the back
Jonah,
to this conversation.
I know,
He's
sorry,
chomping at the bit.
Come on, baby.
Yo, let's bring in my man Jonah. I'm gonna knock on the door, see if I can bring him in. Let's try it. Let's see if I have the time.
We'll do a double knock.
1, 2. Oh, it worked. Look at that, so quickly.
Oh yeah.
What up, Jonah?
What's going on?
Is he home?
Merry Christmas, sir.
Lord Claude, I'll be the butter. Messenger number one. Hit you off with the jewels. Got you cool for the winner.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What up, man?
Jonah, thank you for being so patient, my man. He been chilling with us for like 45 minutes in the backdrop.
I've been enjoying the conversation.
Man, you know you gotta say the best for last, man.
Yes,
enjoying the conversation. Very privileged and blessed to be amongst such talent this evening. Well, Yahweh, dope track, man. Dope track, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Look, first chance you get, pre-save the album.
Absolutely.
It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, D-Star, Tidal.
You got it, my man. You got it, my man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So, Jonah.
What up?
What it is, man. So for those people who don't know Jonah, which is I'm assuming a few, but if you're watching on my feed, there's we have quite a lot of mutual friends. If you're watching through my Facebook or whatnot, but for everybody else, man, Jonah, tell us a bit about your background. How do the worlds of hip hop and faith come out for you, and what you up to? That's a lot, but
I know. I've just since I was introduced to hip hop, I've just loved it. Found a lot of my identity in hip hop. It really spoke to me, and to just love writing and music, and introduced me to people such as yourself. You know what I mean? So hip hop has been such a huge influence in my life, and I've always had, I believe God in His providence always, God chooses people. We tend to boast in our free will, and of course deny God the free will to choose His bride. But I believe God chose me, set me on a path to know Him, and I explored hip hop, and I did secular hip hop in the beginning, and but eventually God kicked in the door of my heart, said, "This is mine," and just gave me a passion to proclaim His word through hip hop. So. That's one of the mediums, not the only medium that I use, or the only platform that I use to share the word of God. But as long as God graces my pen to write, I'm gonna glorify Him through this art form.
And now,
beautiful,
dope, man, dope. And now you also glorifying Him in a whole nother way. Tell us what else you doing, man.
Well, I just planted a church the 1st of November in Lawrence, Mass. Grace to Build.
Congrats, man.
Worship Center. You can imagine it's been hard to grow a church under these circumstances, but we have a small body there and a really close-knit community, and I've never looked forward to Sundays more in my life. So
well, congrats, man. Congrats.
Love being a pastor, love sharing the word, and of course being a husband is my first calling.
Yeah.
And then being a pastor is my second. And then, of course, I love to share the gospel through hip hop as well.
Man got them priorities, right? He's got them priorities. Yo, and let me tell you, you have
Priorities
always had the pastor voice, dog. I mean, people have never heard you before.
Yo, Morgan Freeman
like,
up in the building.
Jonah is back. Jonah and I go way back, and he's been around for a long time. And like when excuse me, whoa, another sponsor.
Compliments to the Cheez-It chef.
Yeah, man. Nah, for real. Like when I first heard Jonah rhyme, I was like, yo, you gotta be pretending with that voice. Like, and then as soon as he's off the mic, he's like, yo, dog, what's up, man? I can't even imitate that voice. Yo,
oh yeah.
Like what?
that young baritone.
There you go.
That's like an octave below like the lowest person you'll ever hear talking. Yeah, that's crazy. No, but for real, you've always had that. I mean, you've always had the lyrics too, but you get the lyrics, the voice, the whole package. So when you professing the word, do people say that to you? Are they like, are the other way around? They like, yo, are you like an MC or something? Like the people that don't know, like they ask you about your voice.
They're often under the mistaken notion that I can sing, and
okay.
And at the best, I can do a joyful noise. So yeah. You don't want to hear me sing.
I don't.
No,
I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah,
but, Jay. I know I heard you saying that earlier, bro.
I can just imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people.
But Yahweh, he's so humble. He's like, I can't sing. This dude breaking notes out. I'm like, damn, I'm about to record that, sample that.
Even in that track, you can hear the tone and the voice. You know, you can hear,
Right.
Yeah.
We got some of the Jonas, right? We got some of the Jonas to play.
Oh yeah, we do. In fact,
please,
I gotta sit right there. Let me give you a little Jonah so you guys can be formally acquainted, and so everybody can get to know Jonah. Yo, and we appreciate anybody who's rocking with us live. We know this show is going to be a viewed show much after the live because we know people got lives, right? Sure. And they're doing their thing. Many a mom and dad, and out there who are like dying to get 5 minutes of rest. My wife is doing puzzles like upstairs a little while ago to chill out. She's like,
that's
yo,
awesome.
Doing my son's puzzle. Like, I just need some time. You know what I mean? So shout out to anybody rocking with us live and people to hear this back. But if you checking with us, yo, check in, man. Chime in. Let cats know that you rocking with us live. We appreciate y'all coming through. Try to give y'all a shout out too. And so Jonah, I got that track. I think I'm gonna play your SoundCloud if that's all right. Wisdom Shouts in the Streets.
Wisdom Shouts in the Streets. That's the title track of the album. Robert Upchurch from the Tramps is in that.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure we mute our mics, boys.
Yeah, just mute up everybody, and we'll let this run. All right. When did you make this, by the way?
2004. So I'm in dire need of new music, but we are working on new music now. We just did a.
I thought you were going to say 14. I thought it was a little. Okay, no.
Yeah, we are working on we just shot a video for this song, which will be up soon, and I'm in the studio working with a live band. So
dope.
Yeah.
All right, check them out.
Yeah. It's a story of God's grace.
What we're gonna do right here is go back into time.
Oh yeah. Life got me locked in this paradox of true lies. So to maintain them when I can, I find I'm getting high. None of these emotions have plagued a sober mind. Also burns inside, but I ignore the sign. Been the church, a place of worship, even walked in spirit. But in the end, my flesh was the bitter seed. Still believe in God, though he ain't talked in a while. Ever since he took my dad, life's been kinda wild. Girl loves me, but she doesn't love what I do. Since I drink too much, and all you think about is you. I know I'm selfish, I can't help it, I'm an only child. Mama's boys raised me by herself, and meanwhile, that was out dodging cops and getting crazy high. I caught the virus through the iris of the needle's eye. I guess the man at his best is but a mere breath. Like those your pulse results turn to dust. Feel me, this was my life, far from Christ. Wise man's tragedy, lost in my vanity. Time to live, time to die. Madness and folly versus the wisdom of the Prince of Peace. Hear my cry from depths of defeat. Times haven't seen far, God so out of reach. Hear my cry from depths of defeat. I know the lies say it loud, but wisdom shouts in the streets. Give me my medication for the super persuasion nurse. A temper shorter than my memory during these outbursts. Now I'm blocked, calling peeps collective, won't accept. Where are my friends to the end? It seems I have none left. So I be wise when the same fate befalls the fool. We all die, we by living similar to prison food. Never satisfied with the portion life provides. Choose how to swallow your despair, such who keeps us alive. On a tear with no tears should ever fall. Don't have grip for this, one's about to scale the wall. Time is short, so I sit back and contemplate my moves. Say the drugs when I get out of here, I'm off with tunes. Not a change you to jail or to some godly fear. For my earth who gave me birth and for her many tears. Not a change you to jail or to some godly fear. For my earth who gave me birth and for her many tears. This was my life, apart from Christ. Wise man's tragedy, lost in the vanity. Time to live, but time to die. Madness and folly versus the wisdom of the Prince of Peace. Hear my cry, that's defeat. Times haven't seen far, God so out of reach. Hear my cry, that's defeat. I know the lies stay alive, but wisdom shouts in the streets.
Let us move on.
No longer locked in this paradox of true lies. No longer want to die, the spirit is time he wants to try. Took so long, so much unnecessary pain. Sex, the weed, the alcohol, the crack cocaine. Try to change my mind, but the tears weren't enough. Or couldn't be trusted from a distance, she was forced to love. Like the beginning, even on the outs, I wasn't free. Kicked out the shelter in the winter, sleeping on the streets. Somehow God kept me through all this pain and strife. Was told I'm worthless, but he had a purpose for my life. Had to put it in check, can't be pimped by my flesh. A living soul, beat by God more than a mere breath. See something deep inside, told me I was so much more. No longer mad at him, my arms are too short to spar. Something deep inside told me I was so much more. I threw my hands up and surrendered to the Lord of Lords. For my friends, see that's not where the story ends. To my foes who will hold me to my former flows. Despite what you heard, the word that this brother changed. It won't happen overnight, but I'm on my way. Not a change, you to jail or to my mother's cry. Let him do for me what I couldn't do for I. Not a change, you to jail or to my mother's cry. I let him do for me what I couldn't do for I. This was my life, apart from Christ. Wise man's tragedy, lost in my vanity. Time to live, time to die. Madness and folly versus the wisdom of the Prince of Peace. Hear my cry, that's defeat. Times haven't seen far, God so out of reach. Hear my cry, that's defeat. I know the lies stay alive, but wisdom shouts in the streets. This was
Jonah. Yeah.
Caught the virus through the iris of the needle's
You caught that right there.
You know, yeah.
That's dope, man.
That's a key.
Listen, man.
Thank you, guys.
Can I interrupt right here?
I've heard it already, but I'm still.
That's LMX, man.
LMX.
His voice. That's Light Man X right there.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, man. I know. He's very DMX on that. Yeah.
I'm telling
That's
you, his voice, man.
It's not even so much the voice. He's got the same kind of swag on that.
The whole swag, the voice.
Yeah, man.
Even the melodic parts in and out with the harmony and the lyrics and all that.
And 2004 though.
4, man. Wait to that. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a newer track on the SoundCloud as well, and of course I've done some other stuff that we haven't released, but we're back in the studio now, working on some new music. Same studio engineer, Ken Polk from Alpha and Omega Recording Studios. That was in his basement. Now he's got 2 studios in Reading, Mass. He's franchised, and we're working with a live band now, so it's going to be a much different sound. And I'm working I'm working with DJ Triple Threat too. So we got a group with no name. I know
group with no name. All right, I was gonna say what's
you guys know what? Yeah.
What's the bigger project there going on? Are you guys trying to?
We got a group with no name. We're trying to come up with a name right now, but I have at least an EP's worth of material that I've already written. So we're gonna get in the studio. It's just really hard with my schedule as a pastor.
Yeah,
but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Put out new material.
For people behind the scenes, what is I've had friends who are pastors or whatever, but for people behind the scenes, what is the life behind the scenes? Like a lot of people under the misconception, you work Sunday. And you know what I'm saying? And you're just chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
let the people know what that life looks like.
Well, I mean, my sermon prep, that's about 35 to 40 hours a week. I'm in sermon prep, just studying and writing. And of course, then you have, meeting with people, building the church, because it's a church plant.
Now
So,
that learning curve of 35 to 40 hours, will that come down after you've been doing it longer? Like people that have been doing it like 20 years or something, will they just be
I
like,
absolutely hope so.
Yeah, because you hear different people with different numbers for that. You always talk about how long that is behind the
Yeah.
scenes, but
I mean,
35, 40. Whew. We got my man Yahweh back. He dropped out for a second. I thought Yahweh was.
I mean, John MacArthur puts about 30 to 35 hours in sermon prep a week, and he's been doing that, since he was young. I don't know if you guys are familiar with John MacArthur, but that's my responsibilities. My main responsibilities, besides family first, is obviously to pray and to do sermon prep to feed, the flock of God. So, and I take that very seriously. They don't need my opinions. They need truth. I'm very unimpressive, but God's word is it doesn't have the fading glory that man has. It stands forever. So people don't need my opinion. They need truth, because I'm not going to set them free, but truth definitely will.
You're impressive. Don't undersell yourself.
I can't wait to see you in Lawrence, man. I'm gonna come down to that one of them days.
Bro, we love to have you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna be there. I'll be there in person 100%, man.
Absolutely, man.
Jay's a little closer.
Just so you know, what's great about this, right, is because I am a postal worker. I'm right on the top of the list for the vaccine. I'm getting it. So once I get that vaccine in me,
you can
family
come
got
it works.
Our associate pastor and his family just went through a bout of COVID. So him and his family have been gone for a while from the church, and of course they have to get checked out before they return. But
how long they been?
Oh, it's been a couple weeks already.
How was it hitting them? Was it hitting them hard or?
Oh yeah.
It seems everybody you talk to, they hits them just like a ton of bricks,
Yeah, it hit him hard. We miss them dearly, but I've been in contact with him. He's about 3/4 of the way through it, so the family's doing well, but of course they need to get cleared first before they can return. But this pandemic, although the science is backed by politics, and it's hard to know who to trust or who to listen to. It's a real pandemic, and it's affecting a lot of people.
And I thinking about this too. So I got to give a special. I don't even want to say shout out. That sounds horrible, but a special prayer out loud to my man Alex Maldonado, who just lost his mother 3 days ago to COVID.
Wow.
And today, I'm sure I can't even imagine, being in their shoes right now, having to deal with Christmas. So, hey, big shout out to you, brother. For real.
Yep. Yahweh, are you hearing us right now? You good? I'm not sure if we have.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, definitely. Cool. I didn't want to lose that point that Jay Cruz was speaking to, and I wanted y'all to speak to this. This is about kind of like what we were talking about before, when we were talking before we came up. How do both of y'all reconcile this in terms of how do you speak to people about this? I'm sure you're asked this all the time in the middle of a pandemic. How do you talk about making meaning out of these difficult times for people? I'm sure this is like probably questioning, one-on-one. For people that are going through it, that might be losing their faith, right? And they're like, why, Lord, did this happen to me? Why have thou forsaken me, kind of thing. How do you reassure them the better times are coming and that there's purpose and meaning for this?
Yahweh, you can speak to that first, since I've been talking to them.
Bring it home. So like for me, like one of the fundamental things about being a believer is that our greatest expectation is life after death, right? And so, wholeheartedly, you always want to reassure people that their trust and faith has to be in whatever God's will is for our life, right? And I'm definitely one of those people too that I try not to be too opinionated with what I tell people. I usually just, try to give people the word and what it says, and allow people to, digest it or interpret it on their own. And so I'm usually straight with people when it comes to questions like that. It's like, I don't want to sugarcoat it, or I don't want to give you false hope, but I do want to encourage you. And so, stay the course, be devoted, stay loyal to God, trust him, pray about it, and whatever God's perfect will is for your life, it will happen. And so as a believer, we have to trust that whatever happens, as long as we're in God's will, that we had to be happy with the result of it. Because there's some believers that hadn't made it through this year because of COVID. You know what I'm saying? And so just reassuring people just to keep faith and keep trust. God has mercy on whom he will. Some of us, he's going to allow us to make it through this, to have a story to talk about this to our grandkids. And some of us not going to, some notable people that's died this year in the faith. That people like, man, I can't believe that he gone. And that didn't make them any less saved. You know what I'm saying? It's so much tied into what happens in times like that it's hard to really just say to any one person or to guarantee anything to anybody other than life after death. If you trust God and you live in his will, if you've accepted Christ and you've accepted salvation, then you know what his promises are for our life. And the only thing that we know for sure about this life being mortal is the inevitable, right? And so again, just trying to be straight with people and be honest with them. I do believe in encouraging people and giving them hope, but to me, it's way worse to misguide people and give them false hope.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no, compassion apart from truth. So truth doesn't always sound compassionate, but it's the best thing you can give people. I mean, truth misappropriated doesn't impart freedom. So you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And the truth is, if God could crush his son and bring something good out of that, then how could he not bring something good out of this?
Great point.
If God is sovereign and nothing happens apart from his will or his permission, then this is God's will. He's either willed it or he's allowed it, and he can bring good out of it. What man intends for evil, God intends for good. So while man's intentions are evil towards us sometimes, and the circumstances that surround us tend to want to crush us and make us look towards despair, God is orchestrates those circumstances, and we know that he works all things to the good. All things to the good for those that love him and have been called according to his purpose.
And there's a test of the mosquito and the test of the elephant, right? So was it Abraham that lost his only child? I'm kind of rusty on it, but
Abraham was called to sacrifice the promised child. It was really a test of his faith. He's called to sacrifice Isaac, and it was just a test of his faith. God never intended for him to kill Isaac, because through Isaac, that was like the living link through which the Messiah would ultimately come. But if, like I said, if it pleased God to crush his son, to kill Jesus, for him to absorb the wrath of God on our behalf, and God could, what looked like such a failure from every vantage point, yet from God's vantage point, that was such a success. God triumphed over death in the grave, and through that process brought many sons to glory. I got my man
Yahweh's feeling it right now.
I know. I can see him. He's just,
like, amen,
I
brother.
got distracted over there. I was looking at it, but
he's like, amen.
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm so crazy about Christ, man. It's crazy. It's ridiculous, man. My life has been, and I don't need nobody to tell me this. Like, when you know that you know that you know that you know, and like every church on the planet can fall off the map, like it will not waver my belief. Like, that's because I've experienced him for myself, and I know he's real. And I can't fathom how somebody could see. I'm thinking about my life, right? How wretched my life is, right? How imperfect I am, that a person that had every capability to call legions of angels to his rescue would sacrifice his life for me. Man, I'm forever grateful. Like, forever grateful.
And if you think about it, Yahweh, through this pandemic, I've seen professing Christians fear death more than pagans. But if to live is Christ and to die is gain, then what do we have to lose? It's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? It's a win-win either way.
That's what I'm saying.
I am so glad we got
and that's my
Yahweh and
answer.
Jonah on here tonight, man. This is great.
And that's my answer to
brother.
his question. That's my answer. It's a win-win. Like live or die. Like if you really in the faith and your belief is really in Christ, you know, our answer to people when they ask is like, you can't lose. Live or die.
If this is all you have, then you better look towards despair. If this is it.
Exactly. If this life is it.
Yeah. If this is your best life now, then you in trouble.
You know what? The only thing we could do in our flesh is be the best version of ourselves. Pro, you said that. I think it was the last episode, or when you said that to me, just in our regular conversation. You know, being the best version of ourselves is the key. And the only other thing we could do in our flesh is put in that work, which is a transition.
Who you know?
Which is a transition.
Was that a transition?
Putting in work.
Was that a video transition?
That's a video transition. Wait till you hear my man.
Pro, I am loving this conversation because last time we talked, we debated for like 3 days. So
3 days. I thought it was more than 3 days, man.
3 weeks.
Yo, I debate with more people on more topics probably than anybody on Facebook.
You made me retire from debating, so I'm done.
All right, cool.
I'm done, brother. I'm
yeah,
done.
man.
You were the last great debate. I am so done.
Remember, you were like behind the scenes.
He
was like, "Yo, I should have you come debate like somebody or whatever." I was like, I ain't really trying to publicly debate anybody. You know what I'm saying? On belief or not. But I will say this. I'll say before we jump into the song, where I was getting with that question is, I think it's easier for us to answer questions like why Jesus if you're a believer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The challenge for both of you will become to a non-believer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why this specificity of Jesus when it's kind of like picking restaurants from Grubhub, for instance, right? Like Jay does the Grubhub thing. It's like, well, I got this choice, I got Buddhism, I got Christianity, I got Judaism, I can look at the Torah, the Ava Gita, the Quran, you know what I'm saying? Sure. So I think for people that are going through pandemics, and this isn't the first pandemic, right? In terms of things that have affected the world, we're looking at God and we're saying, if this is your God is a miserable wretch too, would be the criticism, right? Because your God has decided to kill off billions of human beings, right?
Well, he did it in the flood.
Yeah, so, absolutely, right?
He did it in the flood. So.
And you got people coming to you and say, how do you rectify, you brought up, right, your only son, right? You flooded out, right? Pandemic. It's like, God has great wrath. So why do I want to come to this God, right? And specifically Jesus as the gateway, right? For the concept of the Trinity. Like, what's the elevator pitch answer to that, if there is one?
Let me say
does it reduce to an elevator, or is it something that's much more broad, and that's why we have Sunday services and so forth?
Teacher, I'm raising my
Jay,
hand real quick.
What do you got? They're like, wait a minute, this is for us. What are you doing, Jay? Yeah, what do you got?
No, definitely, please, Jay, please.
So, without punishment and discipline, you're uncivilized, and there's no order. So Sodom and Gomorrah is a perfect example of, uncivilized, and you need to get straightened. And the problem is that we get so when discipline gets looked at, it can be looked at as an evil thing because it's discipline. It's like uncomfortable, right? But discipline is so necessary because it keeps you aligned. Discipline and being strict and like that for me, that was my keynote on takeaway on
but Buddhism has a lot of discipline, right? Does it not? Would you say?
There's several major.
So you're advocating that religion is the discipline then overall.
That's a high I'm saying because as human beings we look at murder, right? See, murder and saying a cuss word, a mental attitude sin, and murder is the same to Jesus and God, because why? It's a sin.
Well, I would say that Christianity is the only religion where you can't earn your way to heaven. It's about grace. So every other religion is a religion of human merit and human achievement. If I just do enough good, if I just pull myself up by my own bootstraps, if I just do this and do that and mark this off, but Christianity says the standard of heaven is perfection, and that presents a dilemma because we can't be perfect. So God enclosed himself in flesh, died in our place, suffered wrath on our behalf, and he imputes his perfection to us. And that's the beautiful exchange of Christianity. What separates it from every other religion is that you're not good enough. Religion. You're not good enough. You can't earn heaven.
And you're saying this is a sell?
Because, so Christianity
this is a sell to someone?
So Christianity says that God did this on my behalf, and through faith in him, his perfection is imputed or reckoned to my account. Therefore, I stand upon his holiness. That's the ground upon which I stand before God. I'm forgiven for my past sins, present, and future. And the life of Jesus is reckoned to me. So when God looks at Jonah, he sees Jesus. But when God looks at the cross, he sees Jonah. So every other religion is you trying to, you don't know if you've done enough. You don't know if you've done enough good.
What are people through history though? Like when people are looking and they're saying, okay, here's the brand of Christianity, right? For my path towards salvation and the eternal afterlife that you were speaking to earlier, Yahweh. What do people say though, to Jonah's point, when we look at the history of Christianity and you see that's been bastardized, right, with penance and so forth, right, where you're actually buying into the church, that clearly
Roman Catholicism.
But that is Christianity in its umbrella. So the history of Catholicism as one sect of Christianity taints the water, does it not? And especially in the current days, when we look at sort of the Catholic Church, does that taint the water and make people go, maybe not for me?
Oh yeah,
because that reflects on man. That doesn't reflect on Jesus.
King James version was the problem.
Okay. I'll say this, and I'm one of those people too, Jay. That sometimes you find people that are so devout religiously that they ignore that there are tangible concerns with what anyone believes, right?
Right.
And like we talked about earlier, people often, especially believers, one of the mistakes that we make as Christians is we want people to think that we're perfect in a lot of ways. And we try to ignore the reality that there is a history that to the average person, when they look at the Catholic Church, they see it as a part of Christianity. And so I generally take an approach, especially if I'm teaching or ministering to people, is that when you open your Bible and you read it for yourself, there are things that we associate with Christianity that you won't find in the scriptures, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I always challenge people to get to know God for themselves. And if you read the Bible, what you will find out was that the Romans, which is the Catholic Church, were actually Jesus' enemies. And so how you can associate, they're the ones that took him to the cross, even though, the elders and, it was shouting and chanting, they wanted a thief instead of him to be released. So why you would associate an era or a generation or a kingship or a community such as Catholicism as a part of Christianity when they were the Romans at the time who forced Jesus or his enemies, right? So how can you? But it takes really opening your Bible and reading it for yourself. That's why I always tax people with the opportunity. So you have to open up the Bible and you have to get to know God for yourself. That will automatically dispel a lot of the confusion with what we associate as, Christianity. And so as far as the actual elevator pitch, to your point, bro, like no matter what God you feel like you may serve, we're all in the same earth. So even if, let's just say hypothetically, you didn't believe that there was one God, right? So let's say you believe there were many gods. So whatever God you believe, they're all letting the pandemic happen, right? So right now they're all on the playing field. So you couldn't blame this God without blaming the other God, right? So
or the other
a lot.
Or the other idea is that they can't stop it. Not that they're letting it happen. The weaker argument that they can't stop it. Right. That the earth has been set into motion, the universe is set, and God is a bystander. Not the Christian view, but the viewpoint that the world is set in motion, and whatever God that you're referring to, maybe for other people,
Right.
doesn't have control of that, right? Well, that's the other
Right.
argument.
So when
Well,
you
the
read
elevator
the
pitch is
actual issue-
Romans 10:17.
And what's that?
Yeah.
Faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of God.
Here comes,
So you
and he
share
that cometh to
truth.
God must first believe that he is.
You share truth, and God's sheep will respond to that truth. I don't have to dress up the truth, stand it up, prop it up. It stands all by itself. So when truth is shared, God's people, the elect, will respond to that truth. And so, you may not like the elevator pitch, but faith comes from hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So, our foundation of faith is knowledge of who God is.
Of who God is. Amen to that.
So
brother.
many.
So, yeah, I would tell people like the same thing.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that so many false prophets, right, have come through the door.
Goodness.
Right.
Yes.
So many.
Regardless of your politics, clearly you either believe in this day and age, you either believe Trump was that person, or you believe Biden is about to be, or you believe Hillary was that person, or you believe Obama was that, right? And whatever you believe, you probably believe that hard. But millions of people believe the opposite, right? So that argument that the people will hear the truth and they will respond is factually not true, because you would have to agree that people are hearing the opposite word. And when you look at this election and you look at 70 million, 80 million, clearly we don't all believe that's the same truth, right? Like, so and I'm not saying that they're preachers. I'm just saying that
I'm speaking of the truth of the gospel,
right?
And that's God's means to bring the elect unto salvation. I'm not even good.
So,
I'm not even going to wade
be,
through politics.
I'm gonna give you. Let me
do I have to? I guess what I'm saying is, do I have to be in tuned in my ear to be able to discern that truth, or is it that our ear will, as soon as we hear the real truth? Are you saying that as soon as by that scripture in Romans, are we saying are you putting it on humans that we will? I don't mean you, but are we to say that humans will know the truth when they hear it? Because I'd be arguing they don't, right? Because
I'm saying that regeneration precedes faith. See, I'm a Calvinist, and so I believe that God has to open your heart to respond favorably to the gospel.
Okay. Gotcha.
Otherwise, no one seeks after God. There is none righteous, no, not one. No one seeks after Him. So unless God initiates salvation, you are blind to eternal realities apart from Him opening your heart to respond favorably to the gospel, and He's under no obligation to save you. In fact, no one gets injustice. We either get justice or we get mercy. God doesn't owe anybody salvation. As soon as we as soon as we insinuate that God owes everybody an opportunity for salvation, that flies directly in the face of grace and mercy.
I live by a simple philosophy. I studied a lot of Bible doctrine, and my philosophy is this: is that my temple is my church, right? And the only person that can communicate, I communicate directly to God myself, right? So 1 John 1:9 talks about rebound, which is essentially confessing your sins directly to God, right? So if I say the Lord's name in vain, I'm confessing that sin to God directly, and I'm forgetting about it. Faith rest technique. So now I've said the sin to God, I've confessed the fact that I've done it, and I forget about it, and I move on. And every time I sin, I'm out of this dynasphere, this dynasphere, which is a circle, right? It's a dynasphere.
Is that a Greek word? Dinosphere. Yeah, I think it is.
Dynasphere. Yeah, it sounds like it.
So
this is like the holy circle, right?
Diogenes.
And you're supposed to stay in the center of that. So when you sin, you're outside of that dynasphere. So now the goal is to stay inside of that dynasphere as much as possible. And as humans being imperfect, right? Yahweh, we sin. So therefore, when you say a cuss word or you drink some alcohol, you're intoxicated, you're sinning. So you confess and you get back into the dynasphere. And that philosophy is teaching you to be really good at being good. And the most important thing for a believer is to believe that Christ died for our sins. Once you've done that, to me, you're saved. Now just stay in that circle, and that's where the rewards will come after life. That's like
I would disagree with that.
Yeah,
I would disagree with that.
That's why I said it's okay. Debate's good. But again, that's me. That's
I would
my
say that
philosophy.
because then that becomes another religion of human achievement. It's really not about what you do; it's about what He did on your behalf. So Christians always sin. We are freed from sin's power, but still we have to struggle with the presence of sin. That's the doctrine of indwelling sin. So that's why we're to die daily. But we fall on board, but we'll never fall overboard. We've been forgiven for our past, present, and future sins because we have the imputed righteousness of Christ reckoned to our account. Because our best, Isaiah puts it like this: your righteousness is as filthy rags. So your best will condemn you.
Rags before God.
Apart from the sacrifice that Jesus made on your behalf. So it's really not about how good you are. It's about how good God was on your behalf. That Jesus absorbed the wrath. It's called propitiation. He absorbed God's wrath on your behalf, took your place, died in your place. You know, he take all of hell was let loose on him so you could taste heaven. He was broken so that you could be whole. He was stripped naked so that you could be clothed in his righteousness. So even on your worst day, Jay, you are the righteousness of Christ.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I'm very open-minded. I'm
kind of in between the both of you guys. I'm kind of into. I'm in between you two guys because for this reason. And I like what Jay said, and I also like what Pastor said. The reason why is because, to Pastor's point, what Jay was saying, you know, we can't do enough to earn it, right? Because we're imperfect, exactly. Right?
Yes.
And we have to work so hard at being imperfect, right? But at the same time, in the context in which Pastor put it in, it almost makes it sound like it doesn't matter what you do, that you will automatically be saved. So there is a blend of knowing that Christ is right, but like when we're talking to other people, like I know that, but when we're talking to other people, when we're communicating that, we have to make sure that we're communicating in a way that there is still not necessarily a human accomplishment, but there is a human responsibility in repentance and dying daily and striving every day and reaching for perfection. And
he lost. We lost Wi-Fi.
Did we lose Yahweh?
Yeah, he might be back. He was able to recover last time and come on back. Yo, we were about to play his joint though. We
should jump into it.
Let's play his joint, and then I'm sure he'll pop up in. So, what's this one called, Jay? Bringing in?
This one's called "Work," and this is his single that's already released.
Actually, all right, cool. All right, I got you. I'll be quiet. I was about to.
We do have to play "Man in the Moon." It's a special request by myself, but I have to do his work.
No, let's hear "Work." We'll see work. This is the video, right?
Yeah, this is the video.
Mute them mics and we'll let it run. I gotta mute mine too. I keep not forgetting that. I don't think I can mute mine now. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh, get ready.
Oh. You got to work? I just need to throw my clothes on. Stop by the spot, get the bread. Show me your location. Okay.
Yeah. F.L.Y. Okay. Work. Who you know? Putting in, getting in, work. In the lab, putting in, getting in, work. Take half, do the math, make a match, work. Doing what I can with the merch. I ain't have much, but I'm making it work. I be in the lab with the LED lights, make them take L like Cool J. Just when they thought they had it on lock, got the game tied up like a shoelace. Aim for the few that can rock with the crew. See, most of y'all dudes, y'all two-faced. Take a real one and know a real one. I can see who fake. Milky, rim red, Snow White. Looking like I hit it with a toothpaste. High top bands and a snapback. Skateboard trip like a Lupe. Jump on stage, get the Who you know? Putting in, getting in, work. In the lab, putting in, getting in, work. Take half, do the math, make a mad, work. Doing what I can with the merch. I ain't have much, but I'm making it work. On point, D-Rose, Jesus, he rose, he pro, teach mode, she code, beast mode, D9, ego, he fly, ego, say so, reach goals, he cold, Eskimo, I'm bad, Michael, stand tall, iPhone, move weight, light bulb, too crazy, psycho, lights out, black glow, blackout, light show, in the lab, white coat, this track, viral. Who you know? Putting in, getting in, work. In the lab, putting in, getting in, work. Take half, do the math, make a mad, work. Doing what I can with the merch. I ain't have much, but I'm making it work. Who you know? Putting in, getting in, work. In the lab, putting in, getting in, work. Take half, do the math, make a mad, work. Doing what I can with the merch. I ain't have much, but I'm making it work.
Work. Yeah,
hot joint right there.
Putting in that work.
Yeah,
Dope.
very nice. He I'm assuming his phone must have died.
Hey now.
We got ads playing.
I let that go a little long, didn't I?
The unofficial.
Let that go a little long now. Yeah, I've been really propping up P.S. Perkins on the banner from last week, man. I've been letting that P.S. Perkins banner go.
P.S. was
People
amazing. That was an amazing show.
Yeah.
I
still got her on the banner on the bottom. But yo, big shout out to Yahweh and Jonah coming through.
What a blessing. What a blessing to be on here with you guys, man. Awesome time.
Absolutely.
For sure, man.
I see my man's back. So he's back in the building.
Yahweh.
Yeah, we got
He
weight
probably
on
getting static.
He's got the Grandmaster Flash form on his voice.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, man, I was sitting back, hey, my phone died.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We just played that work though.
I seen it. I was sitting here watching it, man. That y'all must know that guy, man. He got plugged on the ProQuo Show, man.
I know.
That's a milestone.
Let me change this banner. Hold on. Check it. This is on the fly. What we saying? Bam. All right. Hold on. Ooh. Bam. There we go. Let's give them their props. Let's give them their respect.
Facts.
Yahweh, tell us a little bit about our Freedom Corner, man.
So, short story long, what I always say. But I actually met LD I don't know how many years ago, indirectly, right, informally, through a buddy of mine who actually introduced me into producing. I used to produce a while ago, but me and my best friend, who actually started recording music with back in the day, maybe like 15 years ago, when I first made it to Mississippi, we were walking through the mall and we met JB, legendary. Matter of fact, the Freedom Corner track was from him. I met him like 15 years ago, and him and L kind of knew each other. And I remember seeing L, but at that time, not necessarily connecting any dots or just in passing. He was just one of the guys that was just at the house at the time when me and JB and Block was all just doing our thing. And then fast forward to last year, the other half of Freedom Corner brand, JC, his son and my son go to school together. And so they was playing basketball together. I believe they were in the same class. And so Jay had called me one day and was just like, touching base with me, like, look, I'm coming to pick your son up because he and my son are good friends. And my son's having a birthday party and went to Buffalo Wild Wings and kind of hung out. I didn't know that he recorded. He's my engineer as well. I didn't know he recorded, and I didn't know he knew L, and I didn't know they had a label either.
So it was like, you know, no coincidence. Like I do believe in divine order and purpose, man. That like how it all came full circle. And I finally linked up with Jay to record a song, and then he was like, "Man, I love your music." He's like, "I never heard someone that I knew was a Christian make music this way." You know, like because they had did secular rap for so long, as artists and as brand owners. All their artists were also circular artists too. But they were like, "Man, what you doing is just different. We never heard nothing like it. I want you to meet my homie." And so he called his homie, and his homie show up, and it's aired. I'm like, "What?" And the rest is history, man. And so those guys, man, came up with a beautiful concept of Freedom Corner brand that really represents the artist. You know, where they, you know, I mean, y'all know as well as I know.
But the rest of the people don't.
You know what I mean? Artists don't make money off music, man, but they work in a way to where it's really supportive to an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? They give you freedom and creativity, and they help you do what's best for you as an artist. And so it's beautiful, man. I couldn't imagine it doing any other way, honestly.
That's why I literally, when I met LD and I spoke with him, and I fell in love with the name. And
Jay's a name guy.
Yeah, and then
we're on this show because he likes the name. Like, yo, hip-hop citizen, that's the dopest name ever. We gotta, we gotta take him up on that.
That's fact. And
a few other reasons.
The name spoke to me. It's that again, everything lining up. And I told him, I straight up said, "Yo, I want to sign with your label."
He knows nothing about him. He just likes the name.
I spoke with him one time on the phone after having communication via messages and stuff. And after I spoke with him, I said, "Bro, I want to sign with y'all. Just to I want that name to represent. Like I want to have that name tied to me." Is really how I felt. And then Yahweh, I meet Yahweh. Come on, man, work.
Work. Bro, we got to do some more work together. I got some tracks I need to send y'all to get y'all on some tracks. Of course, we got some features coming.
Look, let me tell you something. My brother, I showed him that work joint, right? And he said, "Yo, y'all need to do a remix."
Whenever you ready.
I'll be ready, baby.
Put it in. Doing that. Work.
Yeah. Let me kill the hook for you.
That's it.
definitely got to get Light Man X on there.
Jonah, are we switching up the MC name? Is it Pastor? I mean, what are we calling you officially now?
Nah, it's just Jonah.
All right. What do the folks call you at your spot?
They call me Pastor Jonah, but it's just Jonah. Okay. That's what I prefer.
I wanted to hear it out your mouth, man. I haven't heard you say
my name.
All right.
My name. You remember back in the day they used to call me Jay Wise, but
I do.
Jonah Nathan to Kamikaze kind of coined that name, Jonah Nathan.
I was telling Jay, I was hipping him to the Kamikaze backstory.
And, my goodness!
And you guys completely.
Yeah. I mean, Excalibur. We were there when Excalibur was blowing up, man. I still have the vinyl. I still have the. I'm one of the few people that have the 88.9. The whole thing you guys did on there live with the live band.
That.
She came first, so I guess I'll come after. I'll battle cannabis, so LL don't have to. I mean, and that's an inside thing. Yes, you did, Pro Lyrical.
Yeah.
And the whole studio erupted. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Those
one of the best best freestylers.
The best.
I mean,
hands down. Whew. One of the best lyricists I've known. One of the best lyricists I've ever known.
Appreciate it.
Pro Lyrical. Hands down.
Got some stuff coming.
Hands down, brother.
Appreciate it.
Have to give the respect where respect is due,
Appreciate it. Trying to be better than I was yesterday, man. That's it. That's all.
So is Pro gonna be on the Freedom Corner joint?
You're amazing.
What do you say?
Amazing.
Pro, you on the Freedom Corner joint, right?
I'm on that Freedom Corner joint. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get you on the album too. You're gonna be on the new project. You have to be.
All you gotta do is call it Freedom Corner, and I would have signed to it all the way.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Let's run a little bit of the Freedom Corner joint. Let's play a little bit of that. Let's not the whole thing, but let's because we don't want to steal the whole.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
it ain't really the real deal until it's blessed by Yahweh, right?
Exactly.
Let's hear it. I love to hear it.
Don't do that. It's all listen. That's the joint.
I told Pro, I said, Pro, yo, Yahweh definitively on the Freedom Corner. Like, it don't make no sense to not have him.
So here's the Freedom Corner. We'll let him hear this as much as we can until I lose the vibe. Nah, you don't lose the vibe in this joint. It's just I want to hear Yahweh on it too. So all right, anyways, I think we got sound. Let's go, Freedom Corner.
Woo! That's the end of Get Your Hands Up.
Mute that mics.
Freedom Corner.
I turned my volume down. Same thing.
Yeah. Let's make it known, you know what I mean?
ProQuo.
Yeah. How you feeling? How you doing, though? In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Fan first, I reverse what you doing, bro. Plans work, we immerse with the jury, though.
New hook coming. New hook coming. New hook coming.
In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Fan first, I reverse what you doing, bro. Plans work, we immerse. I'm on the corner free riding with my click in them. Before Atlanta, Mississippi hit the map off of discipline. Disciples at the table thinking labels made it Timberlands. Recycled off the majors, quarantine, I'm in the crib again. Playing daddy, school teacher, and a hooligan. I'm on salary, not married, but I'm rooting me. The queen cheers, so it's cheers, bottles moving in. That's weekdays, long nights, videos all Peruvian. A big dream texturized on the podium. Reflect the vibes, hope you feel what I sow in them. We on books, former crooks, tall castles, no linoleum. There's no church, but I preach on this flow we in. The temple is my mental, so the soul is detrimental. When I hit the instrumental with the pen, don't use a pencil. You understand the code, so conversion is eventual. Know the version, I'm essential. How you feeling? How you doing, though? In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Fan first, I reverse what you doing, bro. Plans work, we immerse with the jury, though. Yeah. How you feeling? How you doing, though? In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Fan first, I reverse what you doing, bro. Yeah. If I listen to the haters, the Thompsons ain't a player. If I visit conversations, breaking down all the layers. My two brothers to the death is how you would betray us. Word bomb. They put us on, now they all obey us. The curve's long, but the gram about to pay us. I serve song all free, just buy merch, y'all could save us. I purge cons, I socialize with math majors, that's the wave I'm on. It's love first, second steps, all payments, turn a level on. Y'all been talking, now we met through songs. On the curb, MLK down to Evers, cause we get along. Jump aboard, train the door on some Pharaoh Khan. Do the work, real life, now we getting on. All the pawns safe, the board clean, now you sing along. Strike the chords great, got the team, time to move the arm. Tell them all to do it, Sean. How you feeling? How you doing, though? In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Yeah. Fan first, I reverse what you doing, bro. Plans work, we immerse with the jury, though. Yeah. How you feeling? How you doing, though?
Feeling good.
In the bedroom with the studio. Shorty barely moody, yo. Fan first, I reverse.
Yeah.
Play your whole verse.
You can place me in the verses with these rappers this high, and I will place them in these hearses in the back of a box. Got a catalog that stretches like a jack in a box. Underground, I am legend, the original plot. Thought-provoking, how I'm poking and stoking the flames. Freedom riding on some Stokey for a change of his name. Changing the game, my whole education was lame. Mega Evers, no one ever even mentioned his name. Martin either, even him barely a quarter a page. We learned nothing about that corner where that freedom was laid. A shame. Now many corners where there's MLKs, boulevards, grilling hard, still things ain't changed. Is we supposed to lead the hood or is we supposed to refrain? Trying to play the Eric Spoelstra ever post King James. Spit flames, how we handle that heat, gripping that rosary while getting our Omari on doing it how it's supposed to be.
Damn.
I guess we played the whole thing, man.
Damn, because your verse is just too much.
Made me do it.
Appreciate it. Absolutely.
That second verse, so that second
Bro,
verse
that was
is not gonna be
that was hard.
Yeah, that's the behind the scenes, full length, almost full length, kind of.
Yeah,
we got to get another Jonah Nathan track before I sign out.
Yeah, man.
Pull it up right now. Pull it up. We
got
got two more before we sign out. We got Jonah, and then we got to do one last request from your man. I got to hear "Man on the Moon" because it's the most beautiful
Man on the moon.
Powerful record.
Yo, Yahweh, love your music, brother. Love your music, brother.
What are we looking for, Jonah? Let me. I didn't share it.
You want?
All right,
cool. The track with Rex?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me jump out of this one more time. I didn't share the audio that time, but let's go. Boom.
Spitting Image is dope. The track with Rex is dope.
Yep. All right. Let's go. Should I be looking in this piece or just keep scrolling down?
I like that banner, Jonah.
Thank you, brother.
The
Static
Tongue of the Fire is the Rex joint, right?
Sev Static from the Tunnel Rats made that artwork. Tongue is the Fire is the one with Rex.
All right, I'll run that. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Rex is a beast.
University of Maryland.
We got an very unofficial sponsor right there.
What is happening? Why is that? But we can't be having that.
Hop into that one.
UMGC is made for you. University of Maryland Global Campus helps you reduce
University
your
of
out-of-pocket
Maryland is
costs
not an
by
official
replacing many
sponsor of the
undergraduate
ProQuo
and
Show.
graduate resources, including
Not.
We got to talk
electronic
over
textbooks
this
and
ad
more,
so we don't
all
get kicked
immediately
off.
available through your
Talk
online
over
classroom.
the ad.
Get started today at umgc.edu.
Okay, ad.
Certified to operate
See you
in
later,
Cambridge.
ad.
Yeah. RBK. Yes. Jonah Nathan. The tongue is so small, yeah, they post great things. Don't listen to them rappers. They don't care about the kids. Beasts are tame, but who could tame the tongue? It's restless, evil, full of deadly poison. Breath like fire makes you choke. Cause what the fire can't consume, it'll stain with smoke. So burn, baby, burn, your mouth's an inferno. Words burn in thirds and hurt like sticks and brimstone. Protect your neck bone from these empty cutthroats. They live for money, but spiritually they're dead broke. They put their whole hope in things that's temporal and gain the whole world for the price of their soul. The thoughts are sterile words, they don't arrival. That's why I speak life from the pages of the Bible. Sport, godly apparel, all things are made new as we walk the road, seldom traveled by the multitude. Their glory's their shame, their God's appetite. They focus on the material things in life. They exploit a woman and mislead our little girls. The limits of their horizons is this world. They target the head, trying to take out his men, and waste no time when it comes to the young. So forget about the punk with the gun, cause the power of life is in the tongue. I reflect the eternal through this music. This is sacred, truth is naked, bless it and break it. Take it and feed the thousands. It's their mustard seed faith that's moving mountains. No longer doubting, but driven to give them our all. Trying to save these kids from the streets in its call. We can't let them fall victim. They're killing our children with words of deadly venom. They send them messages like self-worth is equal to net worth. And in the same breath, they bless God and curse. Living in the image of pimps, hustlers, and hoes. Reaping to the flesh where corruption is sown. Reaching before they're grown. Tell them not to be conformed. Don't cast no stones, cause we all fall short. I got love for your player, I just hate the sport. I got love for your player, I just hate the sport. See their glory's their shame, their God's appetite. They focus on the material things in life. They exploit a woman and mislead our little girls. The limits of their horizons is this world. They target the head, trying to take out his men, and waste no time when it comes to the young. So forget about the punk with the gun, cause the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Tongue is a 5 words for by design, innovation, divine inspiration. God's the mind patient. Steady on the block, we watch them thugs villains and murderers selling poison food to the children. Food for thought, I force for tummy feeling hungry but willing to hand you my meal if you be ailing. If I could just see through the ceiling, I pray dear Lord stop the music if it's the cause of the killing. Forgive us, Father, for we the authors of peer pressure and such. If we're near to the dust, then help us to rise. Open the eyes that's wide shut. From the womb they doomed us lost souls, aka materializers. Rap visions guide us, passion in Christ we beg for. Forgive your poem is guided kids or this time to fire. Just trying to find a way to make it out metropolis, preparing for apocalypse.
I know it's hard to speak peace when our nature is war. The models get yours and life is so raw, but there's more to life than what you talking about. So we here to talk about what y'all done left out. I know it's hard to speak peace when it seems out of reach, but I refuse to pollute the air our kids breathe. Let's do the things that cause the power of life and death is in the tongue. I know it's hard to speak peace when our nature is war. The models get yours and life is so raw, but there's more to life than what you talking about. So we're here to talk about what y'all done left out. I know it's hard to speak peace when it seems out of reach, but I refuse to pollute the air our kids breathe. Must pursue the things that build up our young. Cause the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Mama always always said, watch what comes out your mouth. Mama always said, watch what comes out your mouth. Mama always said, watch what comes out your mouth. Mama always said, watch what comes out your mouth.
Yeah, my man Adrenaline on the 1 and 2s. Corey Christie, thanks for coming through. Big up all area crews. Verbal Witness. Chef Static and the whole TR fam. My man Righteous. Lamar, we on top of it now.
Chill.
Damn.
Cool, man.
God created
Tongue is a
words
fire.
with, I mean, the earth, the world with his words, right? So move
Absolutely.
mountains.
Caught that little mustard seed reference, moving the mountains in there. I caught you. I see what you're doing. I see how you sewing it in there. How you taking the opportunities. Oh, yeah, little faith.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. That's great.
Hey, Pastor, you the Christian rapper I aspire to be.
What?
Oh, come on, bro.
That's
big.
Yeah, man. You make my music not sound very Christian at all, man.
Oh, stop it, brother.
Like
stop
I love it. I love
See,
it.
I like it.
Isn't it so great that this is how beautiful this day is. I mean, this is Christmas night, and we are all here, and this is the perfect quadrio. How would you say that? Quartet. Thank you. We need my mental Rolodex trying to find that dictionary word.
It's dope, man. So blessed by you guys right now. So blessed by you.
Yo, likewise, man.
Blessed to have, it's an honor to have you
coming through on this day.
Man, for real, both of y'all blessed.
How are we gonna leave the parishioners looking forward to the year ahead of us, man? How we gonna take them out or leave them?
Man on the moon, baby.
Man on the moon.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Woo, he's sharp.
Now, where do I have that? Is that back on the I Am Fly link there?
No, that's on the it's before the I Am Fly.
Yeah, but it's back on that page.
Oh,
back here.
We played Energy. Yeah, exactly. Number 8.
I can't wait to hear another Yahweh track.
All right,
let's look forward to this right here.
I kid you not.
Yo,
I played this track 8 times in a row. I had tears in my eyes, man. This is
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, this is real powerful.
I'm looking forward to doing something with Yahweh, man.
Can't wait.
That's the collaborative.
I would love to do something with him, man.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna get you on a trap beat.
Absolutely. Oh no! Oh no!
You gotta do it.
Pro.
Wait,
you're gonna bring me outside of my. He gonna bring me outside of my comfort zone, isn't he?
What? Hold up.
Oh no!
Look at that.
You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it.
Pro's gonna have to be my ghostwriter.
That's it.
So,
I got you. Got you.
Hey man, it's all good.
I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, mute him.
Yeah. Real talk. Hey, life got a way of making you want to just isolate. Be like a man on the moon. True story. I remember it like it was yesterday. Okay. Sometimes I feel like a man on the moon with no one beside me. Yeah. It's like no one relates to my struggle because of the greatness inside me. God help. Look, Christ died so that man could be integrated. Tell me why this congregation so segregated. Black man interviewing, feeling interrogated. Qualified female applicant get discriminated. All too complicated, I'm feeling indignant. Written and predicted, and we still acting ignorant. Tell me what is different. Look at our predicament. Presidential foolery is getting ridiculous. Eyes wide shut, blind leading the blind. It's time for us to rise up. Well dressed, ain't gotta tell me put my pants up. Officer, I don't have a weapon on me, why I gotta put my hands up? Insurance solid, license is valid. If racism dead, then why am I wearing handcuffs? Cars in my name, seatbelts buckled. I haven't been speeding, then why am I wearing handcuffs? Warrant for arrest nearly ruined my vacation. Wasting 4 hours in the police station. Look, Uncle, he tweet, had grandma worried. My mama couldn't sleep, homie, this a true story. Wife trying to postpone, but the funds too low. Feeling like Akon, they ain't wanna let me go. I'm weighing out the cons and the pros. They prone for reaction, but I'm keeping calm, I suppose. But you see, it's times like those, yeah, that make you wanna get your astronaut clothes and be like a man on the moon. A man on the moon. Mr. Neil Armstrong, lend me your biology. Considering astrology, keep your ideology. Searching every part of me. Faith ain't what it ought to be. It's from my genealogy. I'm giving no apology. Obviously, I'm on a journey and I'm knowing. My garment cannot come up dirty where I'm going. Spit the truth like Sojourner when I'm flowing. Yeah, get the truth wrong with it, Jesse Owens. Too many opinionated, let scripture say it. I admit my life could be more situated. Old man religion, he's so outdated. It's modernized religion, it's too innovative. Are we having church or a concert? Are we trying to condemn or should we convert? Careful how you respond, sir. The KKK and Warren Jeffo say they was doing God's work. That's how a con works. The enemy, I let my light shine. Into G, they probably envy me for working on this day shift. But you remember me for waiting on my spaceship. So I can be a man on the moon. Man on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. That was dope.
Love that record, man. I love
good
that
stuff.
record.
Good stuff, Yahweh.
That's one of my favorite records I heard in a long time.
Come on, brother.
You took that a lot.
So that's our message, man, to go out this year. I know a lot of people felt like isolating and hiding after 2020.
Yeah.
Right. We want to encourage people that, man, in spite of what you've gone through, like the song, it was an adverse time. I actually wrote that song 6 years ago.
No
doubt. And based on that and on the experience and the encounter I had in Illinois, in Willowbrook County, with a police officer, really in a lot of ways was just trying to do his job. But even the way I ended up in a position was just like discriminatory. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging out with the initial event. I was hanging out with my friend. We were teenagers at the time. I was like 16. My friends and my cousin, in Hinsdale, Illinois, and there was a group of young girls. We were all in high school at the time, but we were just hanging out. Being boys. You know what I'm saying? We're chilling, and I was myself and my cousin. We were the only black boys out. We were black kids out there, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and we out just having fun, talking. And with this one particular girl, she goes inside the house and she started bringing her daddy liquor out the cellar, man. Like 30, 40-year-old bottles of Russian vodka, and we didn't bring nothing. We just showed up, just regular teenager stuff. Anyway, long story short, they made it seem like it was all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that allegedly they called the police because Colin, my buddy, he's white, but he was like one of my best friends at the time. They allegedly showed up because they thought we were still in the car from him after we got out the back seat. We got out the back seat. It was a 2-door Honda Accord, so he had to let us out the car. So, and they he thought we were robbing him and stealing his car. And it's a whole thing, man. But
I think it hits me. I know Pro too. I mean, we're melanin deprived, but our children are not. My girls from the islands and Pro. So thinking about that aspect of that stereotype and that no matter how good of a person you may be, beautiful fam, beautiful wife.
It's real, man.
Happy belated birthday to Nicole, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a real thing, bro. It's really a real thing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a in a sympathetic way, right? I don't mean that like in a poor me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in the song, like I don't get no apologies for my genealogy. Like I'm proud to be black, you know what I'm saying? But me being a believer, especially, man, I just love people as a general, no matter what color or what you look like. And so like it ain't a poor me thing. It's just unfortunate that there's people out there who don't understand, like we was talking about Christianity, how sometimes even as believers we ignore what other people believe, even though they have in a lot of ways a Christian foundation. They just don't use the same words and verbiage that we use, right? They may use God, and disciplines and structure and stuff like that. And so the fact that people try to ignore that prejudice and racism don't exist, that's what's frustrating. It's real. Like, I ain't looking for no sympathy, no hands out, or nothing like that. Like, I know life is gonna be challenging just because I'm alive and a human being. But to try to ignore it and act like it don't exist, it's crazy.
Now I feel like the brotherhood and the sisterhood of hip hop, right? Hip hop is the solution to all this, and I know, I feel like my kids and you're our children. They're gonna be the differentiator of all these issues.
Yeah. I feel like the gospel is the solution.
I knew that was coming, Jonah. I knew
and you're right.
The gospel.
I can't disagree. I cannot disagree.
In the stream.
When people say the gospel is not enough to cure society's ills, maybe it hasn't been enough for them, but the gospel is sufficient, and it doesn't need man-centered ideologies to come alongside and help. If Jesus Christ sets us free, then the implications of the gospel is that not only are we reconciled to God, but we're reconciled to one another.
To one another. Yes, sir. It's all there. It's all in the gospel, man. If we treat each other the way, the biblical principles, man. Love your neighbor as you love thyself.
Yeah, because
it has nothing to do with
taking on partiality. Racism is just a nuanced version of partiality. We're all guilty of partiality. All of us. Everyone. No one is exempt. White people aren't more prone to partiality than other people. If it's a sin issue, then it needs the gospel as its remedy.
Yep.
Bottom line.
It's hate. It needs love. Love is the cure.
That's it.
And it helps to not be stupid, but
that's a great point.
I love you, brother.
There are some things that a little bit of
it really does help if you're not it.
That's definitely that definitely.
No, but at the end of the day, though, I feel you because at the end of the day, I mean, like on my on my outlook, I generally see that all people are someone's baby. All right, and we all, especially on today, we think about we are all children of, right, and
absolutely,
and even if you're not thinking in that frame of mind, that it's easy to forget that when you see someone, you guys were talking about sin earlier, you see somebody acting in a way that you'd rather see them not, that they are at the heart, they're injured, right? They're lacking, they're acting out of or because of. Right. There's never just random, I'm just going to be a D-bag today. No, there's a cause and there's an effect. Right. And when we just look at the effect, we miss the biggest part. We miss what's under the tree. Right. What's under the ground. Right. The roots are vast. Right?
Yes, sir.
So when we're just paying attention to the superficial and what's happened, and we're kind of it's selfish in a way. It's like, me, look at how this person's hurt me. Well, look at how this person's been hurt, right? So I'm not saying to just immediately turn the cheek and just go, let bygones be bygones immediately. No, sometimes you want to try to intervene, right? And you don't just wait for things to go away. But at the same time, a little bit of understanding and compassion about a person's situation can go a long way,
Go a long way, brother.
And we are very good at shaking the stones out the sandals.
Oh yeah, we cast a lot of first stones.
Absolutely.
Shake the stones out the sandals, man.
Mm-hmm. We all do it, as Jonah alluded to. We all do it. There's no special ingredient that any human has over the other. However, the intoxicating benefit of privilege can bring you back to the well a little bit quicker if you feel that you're benefiting from the system sometimes, and that inequity, can be rendered very quickly and powerfully if you're sitting on the wrong side of the pendulum. And it's as Yahweh was saying, it's very easy to just kind of turn a blind eye. It's not happening to you. It's you see that red car drive by. If you start looking for red cars, I got a new car, right? I got a new car. I see it all the time now. right? I see it all the time. I'm looking for it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't looking for it. You ain't never gonna see my car. You know, so just
hey. So as we end the night, just a round of applause, man.
Yeah,
for such a magnificent Christmas night. This is a monumental, very memorable Christmas night, and we're gonna start the year of 2021 in an incredible way.
God bless you guys.
Collaborations and new lanes, right?
And I'm not letting you out on the very nice, tidy ending right there because I got something to take you out on. All right.
No.
Yeah, I got
Here we
something.
go.
It's not music. All right. This is the way that some of us may find a little bit of downtime. All right. So I'm going to share with you. If you didn't see last night, I was promoting the show a little bit. It's you may be hip to Elf on the Shelf. You may not be. Now, what you definitely are not hip to is the fact that Elf on the Shelf has some games, and one of them is called the Snowball Fight Game. And the Snowball Fight Game, let me just tell you that I got some skills in this game. All right, because my son turned me on. Now you got to hit the elves, okay, faster than they hit you.
Oh my God!
So I'm the elf on the bottom. I'm telling you, go to official sponsor. Go to Elf on the Shelf. Play the snowball game. If you can beat 20,000, holler at me. All right.
Oh snap! You gotta.
I might be the nicest in the world.
I might be the nicest.
Ready? That's what you gotta do. There he is. Die. Yeah. Oh man, I'm getting crushed.
It's the pressure.
It's the glasses.
He's going to hit Santa Claus, man.
Only got 5 lives. Only got 5 lives. You hit 10, you lose 10.
Oh man.
He said I might be the nicest.
He's going to hit St. Nicholas,
That's insane. I don't even understand why I'm this good at it. Video game. I got too many lyrics to write. But this game. Come on now. Come on now. Yahweh, you see this? I'm not going out like that. Come on now. You can block the snowball. See that psychotic laughing? See that psychotic laughing?
That is loud.
I love this game. If they want to sponsor us, I got them.
You got to be official for next year.
Yeah, we need to have a tournament, though. Oh, this is a tough game. I'm doing See how I lost some points? I hit 22,000 last night.
Yeah, the unofficial spot.
Man, 8,000 points. Look at my high score, 37,550.
Oh,
what?
my
what?
Lord.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I challenge y'all to go home.
Wow.
Post me, screen share. Everybody out there, screen share. Send it to me at my Professor Lyrical page here on Facebook, baby. Right?
Yahweh, my man.
And let me know what your high score is. All right. If you can beat 37,
37.
Oh,
I actually got 47. It just didn't record that. My son was a witness. So 47.
I ain't even going on it. Just be
Come
honest.
on, man.
By the time we do it, he's gonna be like, I'm at 62.
You'll feel better in the morning, man. You feel like, I feel so much better now. I hit those little healing notes.
He gonna be hitting me with a text at 5 a.m. Yo, I ain't gone to sleep yet. I'm at 62,000.
It ain't like that. It ain't
Unbelievable.
Like that. I've honestly only played that about 30 times. But after like the 5th time, I figured out the system. I was like, yo, I got it now.
He got the mathematical equation.
I do, man. I got it. I was like,
bro, you all into that game, man.
Just a little bit. But I'm hoping it doesn't go away now. It's midnight. I have to get that in because it might be like a midnight Christmas thing. It goes, you know.
Yo, I gotta give a shout out to Pro and his festive gear.
Yeah, man.
The most festive
Hey
gear.
man, you gotta show the jammies, man. You got everybody thinking that's a sweater, man. You gotta show the whole joint.
Stand up.
Jammies.
We were sharing, yo.
He got the PJs on in the PJs though.
Yo.
He ain't in the PJs, but he's in the PJs.
Telling you. I was in the PJs. I put this on just for y'all. I knew Jonah was going to.
So great.
Yo,
last week he had the.
Y'all see that right there?
He had the Christmas light necklace on. He is the man.
The whole get up.
Yeah.
I'll be putting. I put the
there.
hat on to because I got this light. If I'll be blind. I need the light, so I'll be always dressing. With my
Oh
hat.
man, I'm dying over here.
Yo, Jonah, much continued success on the new spot, man.
Thank you,
Shout out to
brother.
you, Lawrence spot, man. That's crazy. Yo, one more time for everybody. What's the full name? Full name of the spot?
Grace to Build Worship Center.
Grace to Build Worship Center. Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
I want to see,
Jonah. I
want to see
I wanna
all
get
of
the
y'all in the
address.
front pew one day.
I'm gonna have to be on Zoom.
Yeah, I'll bring my phone with me and we'll Zoom it.
Oh, Jay,
This the
Jay,
deal.
I expect to see you there because you're close, man.
Close, yeah.
So
Within
what's up,
30
man?
minutes.
Let's get together.
Man.
Let's get
Yeah,
together,
I'm
man.
gonna hit you up on the.
This the deal, Pastor. When they
messenger.
had me up there, man, when we doing shows, man, when we perform in Freedom Corner,
Yeah.
coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do a track together, brother. Let's do a track together. Absolutely.
Definitely got
That's
this.
right there.
And congratulations. I have pastoral aspirations myself, and so I honor what you do. I support my pastor heavily as a minister, and so it's work, man. And so like church planning.
Oh my God,
is hard.
People have no idea.
I've been with my pastor about 15 years, and we've moved now into our third building, and so like just not even being in his position, from my vantage point, it takes the grace and strength and wisdom of God to even get to that point. And so when it's a job that's 24/7, right? Who takes a job like that in real life though, right?
Yeah.
Like in real life, you make like $5 an hour because you work 24/7, right? You give up your personal time. Everything like
MCs,
so,
man.
like,
Yo, I sold 2 shirts this
I
month.
salute you. I salute
Yo,
you, Pastor. Like, it's an honorable thing.
and just my quick advice to you in terms of Christian hip hop. Don't embrace the culture. Seek to redeem the culture. Don't fondle it. But speak out of the abundance of your heart, and may the abundance of your heart be the gospel.
Yes, sir.
So while people say that, well, I'm a Christian rapper or I'm a rapper that's Christian. Listen, you can't divorce yourself from the message and still want to support of the community.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
You're gonna speak out of the abundance of your heart what you love. So if what you love is hip hop, that's gonna be obvious. But if what you love is Jesus, that's gonna be obvious.
Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Hey, that's why we pre-saving the album. Pre-save that Yahweh album.
I see what you did there.
Pre-salvation.
That's pre-salvation. Ooh.
I love it, brother. I love your gift. Keep doing your thing, Yahweh. I thank Pro and I thank Jay for putting this together. And
thanks for coming through, man.
So privileged to have an opportunity to get to know you.
Yeah, keep checking in, man, and we'll be up on New Year's too. So check by.
Yeah, definitely,
y'all.
Yep. Let's do it anytime, brothers.
Yeah, man.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Absolutely.
Hey, Pastor, what's your email so I can see that trap beat?
PastorJonah.G2B@gmail. But
you said G2B.
PastorJonah.G2B. The numeral 2 and B. Grace to Build. That's G2B.
Gotcha.
But just friend me on Facebook and
yes, sir.
And we'll go from there.
Love you guys.
God bless you guys.
Too, man.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, y'all. All right, we out of here, y'all.
Stay blessed.
Absolutely, y'all. Stay blessed.
Have a good night. Peace. ProQuo.
ProQuo.